Actually, wait, let's get closer to that side.
I've got him here again. Still having this pressing the WildEarth switch.
As you can see there, Jen will take you closer to it, but very, very typical killing. They've killed it around by biting it around the neck area and also the skull itself, the head. Now I know that this is, like I said, I'm sure it's quite upsetting for some people. It's very emotional. We've seen lots of these lion cubs from when they were very young. They were only a couple of weeks old when we started seeing them. Over time we've had some spectacular views and experiences with this pride and these youngsters. But like we did sort of preempt a little bit, and as it has been seen and studied before in other areas, as soon as big males get pushed over or killed or pushed out by other males, those other males do normally kill all the young infants around, or all the young cubs. So it was expected, but it's nonetheless still very shocking and very emotional when it does happen. I'm going to speak to Ephraim quickly. Ephraim again. Yeah, I'm got English, man. Pimpan, how many more you got coming for those my daughters?
Yeah, I think for here now is me and the other bit more by here. Yeah, I think we're going to get your time, like, if we're putting on, because my name is Yama here, can you look at more?
Okay, Nkuhuma for you. I'm gonna then dig a little bit. Did you do Aina Road?
Yeah, just only halfway for then back again.
Okay, Nkuhuma for you. I'll do a bit Aina Road and Buffelshoek Dam and come around a bit later. Nkuhuma for. Okay, Nkuhuma for. Okay. Well, guys, this is, as you can imagine, it's quite disturbing. Something that over time and being out here quite a lot, I have seen before and experienced before, and that is something that does happen. For those of you that maybe first time are experiencing this and maybe quite upset about this, I remember just recently I told some of my friends when I was on leave that this is likely to happen to some of the lions, and they got very upset. A few of them got very emotional about it in terms of trying to protect them or take them out or so on. It's obviously very important that we realize first and foremost this is a big, large ecosystem that we're part of, and us as WildEarth and also the other people in this area with lodges and so on from Djuma, we are literally just part of the system in terms of seeing it and observing it and being part of it. But if we start interfering too much, that wouldn't be right. This is a very natural process, as much as it is horrible, as much as it does seem very savage. Like I was saying the other day when we were talking for a bit, that not so long ago people used to do this as well. Infanticide is not something that is uncommon in mammal behavior, as much as it is quite an emotional issue. In this specific case, what these lions are doing, or their objective with it, it's not consciously necessarily. It's all part of maybe their sort of evolutionary or their primal drive. But for them to spend the next year and a half raising these cubs, this one that we looked at now that's dead, and other brothers and sisters to this little guy, would not make sense. It would mean they're going to spend a lot of their time raising other males' offspring, and in that process they would waste a lot of time where they could have been raising their own. So by killing all the cubs, which if they haven't done so yet, they will do over the next few days, those cubs being away, the females will come back into estrus over the next few weeks, in the next month or two, and then they will have their own offspring within the next 3.5 months. So as much as this is very harsh, it's maybe not a very good analogy, but compare it to a terrible bushfire. As much as it is terrible, afterwards you get the grass flushing again. 4 or 5 months from now, there's going to be a lot of little cubs around from these new males, and maybe, as much as they are not going to be very popular at the moment, I'm sure there's quite a few people out there at this moment that are wishing we could do something horrible back to the big males. It is just part of how they do things. But being so many of them and being so dominant, as we've seen now already, and also further to the south, and what we've been hearing from the other areas, is they have moved the other males out in different parts, but if they are so dominant, they should be able to stay in this area and maybe be dominant for the next many years. So maybe one empire has been taken over by a bigger one, and a long peace will follow afterwards. So it's very harsh, it's a tough reality. It's upsetting to see a beautiful like this, but over the next few months there should be more cubs around, and those should have a very good chance, because they'll have such strong parents or fathers that they could probably live to adulthood and go on. We're going to leave here for now. We're just going to have to look around the area a little bit more. There's 1 or 2 things I want to go look at further. When we saw Sully, there was some elephant in that area, see if we can have another look at it, and then we're going to come back. There's also a very good chance that we are going to see lions later on. I just spoke to Ephraim on the radio, as you saw. At the moment they've got 2 males. There's just quite a few vehicles. There's very, very much on the edge of our boundary, but it sounds like there's some food, and I think we should see some of those males later on. Let's have one more quick look. Just speaking of food, you can see that this is probably what caused it. See, this cub had food in its belly. So the females would have killed something. Those tracks, yesterday morning there were some female tracks, lioness tracks, coming past Wetela, and that's what those males picked up on. Followed those tracks, and that then eventually brought them to the youngsters, and from the sound of it, they've been looking at the tracks this morning so far. They've also found a big male. Not quite sure yet whether he's gotten hold of him or they've gotten hold of him, but that's definitely what pulled him into this area.